Every night at exactly 2:03 a.m., a DoorDash driver delivers food to the same guy. Same name, same address, except it's never the same person at the door. He pulls up to this big sketchy apartment complex. One address on his GPS, one name on the order. It just says Dave. But here's where things get weird. The door opens and it's not just one guy. It's a whole group of people, all different shapes and smells, lunging for the bag like it's a sneaker drop. One of them takes a cold brew, and another person takes a stupid amount of Dino Nuggets. They're like, "Shee!" And then he hits a 720 YY ladder stall trick shot and goes back to playing Call of Duty. One person just steals the napkins and disappears back into the shadows. The driver's standing there thinking, I was told this was for one person. My app says I'm delivering to Dave. The next night, same thing. Same address, same Dave. Different people again. By night 3, the driver isn't even surprised anymore. He just hands the bag over and leaves, even though Dave is clearly a rotating cast of chaos. At this point, he's not delivering food, he's delivering trust issues. Eventually, he stops asking questions, because as far as the outside world is concerned, only one person lives in that entire building. In real life, we call that a frat house. On the internet, it's called network address translation. So, how does this actually work? Because if everyone is Dave, how does the coffee end up with the coffee lady and not the Nugget Guy? Enter the router. The router is the stressed out building manager sitting in a tiny office by the front door. He doesn't live in the building, he just manages chaos and probably drinks energy drinks for breakfast. If you want to learn more about a router or the difference between a router and a modem, watch my other video on this. Whenever someone inside the building wants food, we're going to call these people private IPs. They don't talk to the delivery driver or a restaurant directly. They're actually not allowed to.
No.
They have social anxiety, and talking to people outdoors is lame anyways. On top of this, the internet wouldn't understand them anyways. Instead, they yell down the hallway, "Hey, can I get 50 nuggets?"
I need a venti espresso or I will literally seriously freaking freak out.
The building manager, aka the router, writes everything down in a super duper secret notebook called the NAT table. And this is where things get interesting. Every food order gets a port number. Think of it like a specific label or a tag on the order. The label doesn't just say food for Dave, because apparently Dave is 47 people. It ends up looking like this. We have an IP address on the left, and then some sort of label in the middle, and then the port that IP address belongs to on the right. Then the building manager calls the restaurant and says, "Hey, this is Dave. Send everything to 123 Internet Lane. But listen, put attention port 5001 on the nuggets and attention port 5002 on the coffee." The restaurant just sees Dave. They don't know the Nugget Guy exists. They don't know the coffee lady exists. They just see one public identity, the legendary Dave. Your public IP. Basically, your internet alter ego. Now here's the coolest part. When the food comes back, the delivery driver still thinks he's dropping everything off to Dave. But the building manager checks his notebook like, yes, caffeine withdrawals, port 5002. And he sends the coffee to the coffee girl's room. If the labels weren't there, absolute chaos. The Nugget Guy ends up with the espresso. The coffee girl ends up getting 50 nuggets. Someone ends up crying. This is why ports matter. They're basically sticky notes saying, this belongs to that device. Now you might be wondering, why do we even live like this? Why can't everyone just have their own house? Because the internet literally ran out of space. Back in the 80s, engineers created IPv4 that allowed a possible 4.3 billion addresses. At the time, that felt infinite. Guys, there's no way humanity will ever need more than 4 billion things on the public internet. Meanwhile, in 2026, your toaster has Wi-Fi, your fridge has opinions, your cat's collar tracks how big the hairball coming out next week is going to be. NAT became the ultimate roommate hack. It lets hundreds of devices share one public identity while we slowly, and I mean slowly, move to IPv6, which has enough addresses for every grain of sand on Earth to have its own IP. Yes, every grain of sand. Even the sand on your bed sheets that fell off your dry, paper-textured, haunting, leathery skin. But wait, NAT isn't just a space saver, it's also kind of a bodyguard, because the delivery driver only knows Dave. Some random creep, like a hacker or a malicious packet, can't just walk up and knock on Nugget Guy's door. If someone tries to send our mystery package without a label, the router just goes, "I don't know who this is for, be gone, dum-dum." Is NAT a firewall? No, but it does make your network feel like it has an overprotective parent watching everything. Sometimes the building manager is a bit of a Karen. If you've literally played any online game, such as Valorant or Warzone or Fortnite or whatever, and you happen to see NAT Type Strict, you already know the emotional damage. This is the digital equivalent of the building manager locking the front door and going on lunch break. Some game server tries to send you data. Excuse me, I didn't order a headshot. Meanwhile, the Nugget Guy is like, bruh, I'm in a 1v5, now is not the time. Strict NAT doesn't mean your internet is bad. It just means the building manager refuses to let unexpected deliveries through. That's why we do port forwarding. You're basically telling the building manager, hey, if anything shows up labeled port 3074, don't ask questions. Just send it over to my room. You're giving the internet a VIP entrance. Not wide open, it's just more specific. So let's recap before Dave orders another 400 nuggets. The public IP, also known as Dave. It's the one identity that the internet sees. Then we have the private IP, or the Nugget Guy. That's your device's secret apartment number. The router, the overworked building manager lying to the world so that your network survives. The NAT table, the lies I told today notebook keeping everything organized. Ports, the sticky notes that stop espresso from going to the wrong person. Without network address translation, the internet would have put up a no vacancy sign years ago. So next time your internet is acting weird, just remember, your router is juggling 100 fake identities like it's running an underground passport office. And honestly, it deserves a raise. If you want to learn how to fix that strict NAT for good, you have to do a triple backflip and order Taco Bell at the same time. That will immediately fix it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.